over to the fabulous Rebecca Youngs of the Social Den. Thank you for coming and joining us.
Thank you very much for having me. So I'm going to be talking about Instagram, but I think it's still applicable to all social media. So don't worry if it's not, a platform you're using. Some of it is just Instagram, but a lot of it you can carry forward to whatever platforms you're using. I think I was going to start by asking you how you feel about it. I think a lot of you have said you're overwhelmed with it or you're lacking in confidence. I'm not sure anyone's absolutely loving it. Maybe Sue, you are. But I think Instagram has evolved so much in the last few years that a lot of people feel quite overwhelmed with it because they've added so many new features. But I'm going to hopefully make you feel a little bit less overwhelmed. My first thing I wanted to say, and this goes back to what I was saying a bit earlier, is that on all your social media platforms, you really need to just be yourself and be authentically you. If you try and be like someone else, or you see someone else's content and you think, oh, that's better than what I'm doing, or it just becomes exhausting and overwhelming. So you won't enjoy it at all if you're trying to be something you're not. And your target audience will come to you because of you, and you've got your own kind of qualities that they seek from you personally, and if they don't like that and they prefer someone else, then that's better. It's much better for them to be with someone they feel a better connection with, and you won't have any stress with that particular client or that person in your audience. So definitely just try to relax and just be yourself. I know it's easier said than done, but hopefully I can give you some tips. The next thing to think about is with all social media, not just Instagram, that it is a social platform. So you want to put your audience at the center of it. So it's really important. And I'm sure as in the businesses you're in, you're probably quite clear on who you're targeting. But it's really important that you are putting them at the middle of everything. So whether you're creating content or you're writing your bios or your about pages, it should be really obvious to them that you are talking directly to them, and they should know what you do and who you're doing it for, and it should be for them. So just, I think sometimes, particularly whenever I do an audit, I do a lot of audits for people, and the first thing I always say with their bio is, it's not clear what you do. If I'm coming and I know nothing about dance, for example, is it obvious, what you do and how I take the next step? So just go back to your bios, whether it's in Facebook, LinkedIn, or Instagram or TikTok, and just check, is it really obvious what your page is about, what you're about, and is it obvious how people could take the next step to book a class or to find out more or whatever you want them to do. And just make sure you're talking directly to them at all times, so that they feel like you are building that relationship. So this is really funny that you said about your dog, Sue, because I've got this page on here. So people, when they're coming on Instagram, the platform is all about inspiration, really, a little bit more about entertainment these days as well. But they're not coming on to be advertised to by businesses. So people aren't in the frame of mind, unlike something like LinkedIn, where we're in a very business frame of mind when we're scrolling. When we come onto Instagram or Facebook, we're not really thinking about spending money. We're thinking about mindless scrolling, things that are going to make us smile, or things that are going to inspire us to do something. Or sometimes it might be something quite, that's going to help us with our mental health or physical health, that, again, it's kind of helping us. So a lot of people come on to see dogs, which is why your dog reel would do so well. I think dog posts probably are the most popular on Instagram, and this is a very good dog, Leon. How cute is he? We also come on to stalk celebrities. So Instagram is great for that. You can, feel like you're quite close to celebrities. They even can answer direct messages to you or comments that you make on their posts, but you can definitely be nosy and see what they're up to. And food. So I think we all like scrolling past a lovely chocolate brownie or, meal out or whatever. So when you're posting, you're competing with those kinds of posts. So think about that. Your audience is scrolling through, seeing a cute dog, seeing what their favorite celebrities got up to, seeing a recipe they want to try and make, and you've got to try and stop that scroll and get them to look at your content. So the 3 types of content that you want to be trying to post are either something that is entertaining them, so something that makes them smile, makes them laugh, or is just a joy to watch, which I think for you guys is quite easy. Like I said, at the end I might see if I can try and find it in my Canva, but there's some really lovely video footage of dancing, which is really relaxing for a lot of us who aren't dancers to watch, and as parents it's really nice to see. And you can obviously add the music and everything. But there's also things like time lapse. So, you could set up, again, if you've got permission, you could set up your camera. If you've got an iPhone, there's just a setting in your camera that says time lapse, and you can just set it up, just put it either in a tripod if you've got one, or if not, find somewhere to prop it up. A cup works really well, and just set it to record on time lapse and just let it record your studio of people coming in and out, and it just speeds it all up. And honestly, people will watch that just over and over. There's something mesmerizing about time-lapse video. And it's, again, really easy one. Just put some nice music in the background and post it as a reel, and it'll do really well. The other kind of content is inspirational. So this is where, again, I think this will work really well for you, because you can inspire people to move, can't you? Oh, sorry, my computer does this. I don't know why. You can inspire people to move and to dance, and get off the sofa, and dance is brilliant, isn't it, for our mental health and physical health. So if you can inspire people to do that, brilliant. You might be able to inspire teachers to teach. There's lots of ways you can be inspirational with your content. And then the education part is also really, I think, key for you guys, because you can tell people what the benefits are of what you do. And for the kids that come to your classes, if you run kids classes, for adults if they're coming, and you can share facts and figures and all sorts of things about what you do. You'll know so much more than everyone else. Just one thing to remember on that is that often you're so wrapped up in and kind of absorbed in what you do, you forget how little we all know about it. So be really simple in your words and your vocabulary, and just never assume that we know something that to you is very obvious. I think that's often, again, when I work with clients, something they find really difficult, because even just if you're saying something every day, you just think everyone knows what that word means. I think I even did it yesterday in my post. There was some confusion with what the username is and what the bold name is in the Instagram profile. So it's just so easy for us, if we think it's obvious and everyone knows it, not to know. So just be careful on that. So just a bit more on content, because content is really the kind of focus to get more eyes in your profile, and also to get people to come and follow you. They're going to want, like we were saying earlier, to get some value from you, and they're going to want to get that consistently, so that they want to start following you, so they don't want to miss your content. But don't feel you've got to post every day. We were talking about this yesterday. It's really not important. I think the problem is that there's a lot of people on Instagram that are either influencers or just content creators, and obviously for them, they get paid for their Instagram posts, so they are posting twice a day often, because that's their income. But for us as businesses, it's a marketing tool. It's not our business. It's not where we're actually physically getting our money from. We hope to get some bookings and clients and make a bit more money, but it's just one of our marketing avenues. So don't feel like you're a slave to it and you've got to be posting every single day. I just say consistent. So work out for you what is manageable. And if it's once a week, that's absolutely fine. If it's twice, brilliant. 3 times, fantastic. No more than 3 times, I would say. You really don't need to do more than that, but just you want it to be consistent. So you don't want to be posting like every day next week and then have a month where you don't post, because the algorithm kind of learns all the people that are interacting with you, and picks up on all the connections you have across the platform. And then if you don't have any for a month, when you then next post, it's got nowhere to send your content to. It doesn't really know who you're connected with. So that's why you might see engagement and reach really drop if you take a break. Not to say that, you know, I do occasionally take a break, but try and mostly throughout the year be quite consistent. You do want to make sure on Instagram, it's a very visual platform. So you want to make sure any videos or photos or graphics that you're sharing are really good quality. So no watermarks on videos, no blurriness. Don't try and make sure that if you're posting a reel, the video fills the whole screen. You don't get those black lines. So you need to be filming in portrait. And yeah, just you can see there that dahlia is the colours pop, don't they? And it would make you stop scrolling if you scroll past that picture. Hook people in with those first 2 lines of your caption. So when we're scrolling through Instagram, we only see 2 lines and then we decide whether we're going to click more and read the rest. So you want those first 2 lines to get straight to it. Don't kind of, you know, faff around about talking about something about the weather, or, you know, oh, I haven't been around for a while, or any of that. Just get straight to whatever it is that you want to share. And do just try all the different formats. You've got lots of different options on Instagram. You've got video, you've got still images, you've got graphics, you've got the carousel posts, which can often do well where you're scrolling through. So that might be an alternative when you want to be showing people how to do a dance move rather than doing a reel. You could have, you know, different parts of that dance move on a carousel post, and that could work just as well. What you can do, I don't know if any of you use Canva, but if you create that on Canva, you can then download it from Canva as a video and upload that to Facebook. So if you're doing it as a carousel post on Instagram, then you can just make that into more of a slideshow for Facebook because it doesn't have carousel posts. So yeah, just try all the different things out and see what your audience engage with the most. Another thing to remember with social media, and a lot of businesses find this difficult, is it's not a broadcasting platform, it is a social media platform. So businesses that come on and just broadcast their news and tell people what's going on, there's, you know, if you think about that from an audience point of view, there's nothing to say. You know, basically they're either going to think, oh great, or so what. They're not going to want to interact with it. They're not, you know, they're not going to feel the need to follow you to find out what you're up to next. It's just not that kind of platform. They come on for the interaction. So like I was saying earlier, if you can tell stories and really get people to see themselves in that story, then you really start to build that connection. So telling your story, telling the story of your business, telling stories of your clients, it really helps people feel a much more emotional connection to your content. And that's what you want. If people feel an emotional connection, then that helps them, you know, like your post, comment on your post, start chatting to you. And once you get those conversations going, that's again when it becomes much more of an enjoyable platform to work with, because you feel you've got those relationships with people that when you post, you know that they'll chat to you about what you've posted about, and it just feels like much more of a kind of a nicer experience for you than posting and worrying about the fact that no one's looking at it, and it's, you know, what a waste of time that was. So I have a, you know, a core community that I know when I post will always comment and chat to me about what I've posted about, and so it stops me getting in that cycle of, you know, panicking that my reel's not gone viral or whatever. Because actually if your reel does go viral, it might get you loads and loads of followers, but you've lost that kind of connection, and it's that connection that gets people to become your clients and want to work with you because they've got to know you and like you and trust you. How am I doing on time? All right. Just another thing to remember with social media, and this again isn't just Instagram, this works on both, you know, all the platforms, is that, you know, you might want to have a bit of a plan of what you're going to post about. That's kind of all back to your marketing strategy, but being reactive to current news and trends, because it's social and because people come on it to kind of see what's going on and see what people are saying, can really help boost your accounts. So this is an example from last year. I don't know if you all remember, but Instagram and Facebook went down for a whole night. It's actually one of the best nights I've had. I was so happy that it wasn't there. And I had a post planned for the following morning. And when I got up to post it, I just thought, well, this isn't going to work because everyone's talking about the fact Instagram was down, and I can't just post about something completely different. So I quickly just put this up in Canva and posted this. And at the time, my audience was smaller than it is now, and this engagement was brilliant for me. And everyone wanted to chat about the fact it had been down. So just think about, if something's happened that your audience would really want to chat about, then just be quite reactive, and that can really help boost your account. And also, again, it's enjoyable for you because you probably want to chat about it as well, so it becomes much less laborious than, you know, trying to market something, you know, try and get more sales. And the other thing is to really remember that you want to be relatable to your audience and show off your personality. So again, you know, thinking back to what Emma was saying about her dancing being kind of an avenue to kind of showcase herself without having to talk in public, you know, that story is what I mean. Lots of people will relate to that, and lots of people will either think, gosh, you know, my child is like that, I think, you know, I might get them to try dance, or they might think I'm still like that as an adult and I'd really love to get into dancing. So they can really identify with it, and it helps them realize that, you know, they are similar to you and they've got similar, you know, personality traits. So don't be shy to kind of share that. You don't have to share really personal and private information, but just telling little stories like that can really help. You know, and if your parents, you know, and your clients are parents, it's great to kind of share some parenting, you know, stress that you're having, because we all have it, don't we? So it just makes you feel more human to the person looking at your content, and again, connect with you on a kind of deeper level. Just something on Instagram, which is kind of, they have just started on TikTok, but I haven't quite got my head around TikTok stories yet. But on Instagram, stories are still like the most popular feature. And this is one of those things where you can be a lot more consistent. So if you're struggling and feeling overwhelmed with coming up with content to post onto the grid, you can put a quick story up, you know, in seconds, and you've connected with your audience, you've showed up, it will still make those connections with the algorithm. And the content you can post on stories is just so much easier, and it helps your audience really get to know you, like you, and trust you, and also helps you to get to know them and what they want. So I'll talk about that on the next slide, but just don't overthink them. I think with stories, the most mundane things are the things that get the most engagement. So a friend of mine who does the same job as me, she says still to this day, her most engaged story was when she lost her brace and she had to rifle through her bin. And she literally just posted a picture of her bin saying, I've got to rifle through this to find my brace. And that got the most engagement of anything. So it's not, you don't have to kind of overthink it. It's just snapshots of your day that you're sharing. And again, doesn't have to have you in it. Could be, you know, a photo of your coffee or, you know, whatever. And you could just list out what you've got coming up that day, you know, busy day today because, and then all of that. It just helps people get to know kind of a bit more about you and, you know, what's important to you. Could be that you watched the last episode of a series last night and, you know, you might ask, did anyone else? And what should you watch next? It doesn't have to be even, you know, anything about what your job is. It just helps people connect with you. The other thing that stories are great for is that, you know, when you post a new story, you get that ring come around your profile picture. And as human nature, we are so nosy that we need to see what you've posted. And so that just helps get you front of mind and people to remember you. And they do. The best thing about stories is that if anyone wants to chat to you about your story, it comes straight into your direct messages. So it's a one-to-one conversation, and you'll find people will often talk to you much more in there because they feel safe. They're not kind of putting themselves out there on the grid where everyone can see what they're saying. And that is where a lot of leads will come, and you'll start to feel, you know, like people might ask you about your dance class because they're a bit nervous to say it in public, and then you can put their minds at rest, you know, if they're adults and they're a bit nervous about it. And, you know, if it's for their kids, you can start just building up those leads and, you know, make the sale as well. The other thing to remember in here is you can find stuff out from your audience. So I think it was you, Helen, saying that you might want to do another class in the future. You could do a poll and ask people what class would they like, or you could do a quiz and see if people, you know, what people know about different dance classes. So these are all the interactive stickers, the poll, the question sticker, the quiz sticker, and even this emoji slider you might have seen. all of these mean that the person watching the story can take an action from your story, which is counted as engagement by the algorithm. So builds those connections and makes sure when you do post your next post, that post will be shown to that person. But it also can really help you get to know your audience and know what they like, what they don't like. It can help you to find out what to watch next or what to read next as well, where to go on holiday, all sorts of things. But so the only thing I'd say is just make them very easy for people. So nobody likes answering difficult questions. If you use a question sticker, make sure it's something easy. Things that work well are often, recommendations. People are always happy to recommend a place to go or a book to read or a TV program to watch. But if you ask them, what they're struggling with their fitness right now or mental health or something, they're not going to offer that up in that question sticker. But they may take a poll and say, you might have a poll saying, how do you feel about your fitness? You could have bored going to the gym or not motivated or feeling motivated, and they will probably tick an option in a poll. So just that's something to really try and add into your stories. You'll get much more engagement and it will help you build those relationships. And then the other thing is getting visible. Although we've said you don't have to, it really will help you connect with your audience. If we see photos of people, we are much more likely to engage with that post. If we see someone in a video, we're much more likely to engage with that video. If we're seeing faces and people, it's again human nature, isn't it? We need those social interactions. So do try and build up your confidence. Try and rethink it and think about it's talking to one person. If people can get to know you, they are much more likely to come to your classes or book your services. So do try and show up as much as you can. A good thing, if you're nervous to start, I always think what some of the best posts for this are just a photo of you, get someone else to take it if you hate your own photo, and then give people some random facts, because there's always something really random about you that other people relate to. So some examples I've done in the past is, from things like where I grew up and went to university to the fact I haven't got my ears pierced. I've never slept in a tent. That shocked a lot of people. I used to work in WH Smith's when I was a teenager and had the brown skirt and the stripy blouse. All of those things that make, the audience really start to connect with you and chat, because, they've all either worked somewhere else or have got their ears pierced and can't believe you haven't, or also haven't got their ears pierced. So there's just things like that. And whenever I suggest this to people when I'm doing training, they often say, but I'm really boring. There's nothing random. I am probably one of the most boring people in the world. Never slept in a tent, never been to a festival, never done anything that lots of people have done. But you will find something random that people connect with. So that can be a really good way of just putting your face out there without talking to camera and feeling like, you've exposed yourself too much. Good place to start. So just to finish off, remember that your Instagram account or any social media account is a journey. So you're collecting new followers all the time. You lose followers all the time. That's just the nature of it. Your confidence levels probably will go up and down, but the platform itself is always evolving and changing as well. So, try not to get too worried about it. Like I said, it's one of your marketing channels. It's not your business. I think a lot of people, not really probably in your profession, but I know a lot of e-commerce brands that kind of almost think Instagram is their business and that's the only way they're trying to sell, and it's a bit of a worry because there's lots of other ways you need to be getting out there. You'll also have in your audience lots of lurkers that never ever engage, but suddenly turn up at one of your classes and say, oh, I saw you on Instagram. So, there's loads of people out there. I used to be one of these people that would scroll and never comment or like anything, just have a look. But it's still helping build up a picture of you and your business with you being on there and having your presence. And the other thing is that people, particularly for the, because you're seeking that local audience, the other thing I find really, really useful about my Instagram is that because locally I've got lots of followers because I started my account as a local account, they may never need my social media training, but they're always talking about me to other people. So I'll get referred to so many people, and they'll say, oh, so and so, you know, seen you on Instagram. And so my local, I'd still say like 80% maybe of my training is to local clients, even though I can go worldwide and have trained people, you know, in other countries and all sorts. So don't underestimate the power, even though you might, you know, your reel might have gone viral and not gone to anyone in your area that could come to a class. That doesn't mean that your local audience aren't seeing that and aren't then recommending you locally. So it's a great tool for getting offline fans as well as online fans. And just keep reflecting and refining. So look back at your insights, see what's working well for you, repeat more of that. And if you see things that people aren't engaging with, you know that maybe that's either a format or a content topic that they're just not that interested in. So you kind of ditch that and move on. Hopefully that's helped, but I'm happy to have any questions. I'll stop sharing.
That's brilliant. Thank you, Rebecca.
That's all right. Oh, can I just say as well, if you sign up to my newsletter, which is on my website, or I can perhaps give you a link to, I send an email every Sunday with a couple of trending audios and how to use them for reels. And often that's not with your face in. And I try and make sure they're mostly original, so any account can use them. And also whenever I run a workshop, you'll get a discount and things like that. But yeah, so that's on my website, the sign up, or I can probably get a link to you.
Brilliant. Yeah, definitely send me the link, and we'll share the social media. Definitely give Rebecca a follow. It's the.social.den. That's right, isn't it? But we'll share it as well, and obviously that will go out in the email and across social media. But yeah, definitely recommend getting the newsletter. I know we all get lots of stuff in our inboxes. You can always unsubscribe, but I find them really valuable as well. So I did actually come across Rebecca, recommended by somebody that I work with. So that's how, you know, as Rebecca says, you don't always know who's watching you. And I've had that a lot, actually, especially with the businesses community, which is locally. You go into a pub and someone goes, oh, it's Sue, and I'm like, who are you?
I get that all the time. People say hello to me in the street and
it's crazy.
I don't know you, but they think they know me.
Yeah, absolutely. Told them all your secrets of your non-pierced ears. So has anyone got any questions for Rebecca?
It can be about Facebook if you want. It doesn't have to be about Instagram.
Emma, do you feel a bit more positive about it now? Have you got some ideas?
Yeah, it's great. I'm just sat here thinking, and I just need to sit down and get organized with it. But yeah, thank you, Rebecca. That's really helpful. I was just the one thing I'm curious about, and it's maybe a Facebook thing. What is the difference between likes and followers? Because on my Facebook pages, I've got lots of likes, but then I've got a lot more followers. So I'm curious as to what the difference is between the two, because I've not quite figured that one out yet. So
Facebook's a funny one, isn't it? I don't know why it has both, but the way I understand it is that that's good that you've got more followers than likes, because the followers should be shown your content. So when you post, I would hope that if they're following your page, then it would, when they log onto Facebook, they're seeing your content. Whereas if they've just liked your page, it's more just that they've liked your page, but doesn't mean, it might show them some of your content, but it's not going to show them all. The problem with business pages on Facebook is they are at the bottom of the pecking order in the algorithm. So when we log into Facebook, we see our friends and family posts first. Then we see our Facebook groups, and we're all in loads of them, aren't we, these days? So then we see that, and then businesses are right at the bottom, and obviously you've got loads of ads in between all of that. So your post, when you post on Facebook, will only get shown to a very tiny percentage of your followers. That's the other thing. So the algorithm will choose a percentage of those followers, not the page likers, but the followers, to send your content to. If they engage with it, it will choose to send it to more people. But often, because on Facebook it's a bit tumbleweed, I don't know if you find that, but then it doesn't really go any further. So it's a bit of a difficult one. One thing I'd say is, have you got a group? Have you got a Facebook group for your, so brilliant, because that your Facebook group people will see your content, definitely. So I would probably, if I was you, focus much more attention on that. And then on your page, the good thing about Facebook over Instagram is you can be very localized. It does tend to have more of a local community around it. So just try and work with other local businesses that share your audience but aren't your competitors, you know, by doing some like at mentions, sharing what they're doing, maybe sharing some of their posts now and again, and just try and build that local kind of community feel around your page. And that should hopefully get your content in front of more local people.
Okay, lovely. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Helen or Vicky, have you got any questions?
Quite a few of my questions have already been answered by your wonderful presentation.
Oh,
really fantastic. Really enjoyed it, and I'll definitely link up on Instagram with you.
Yeah, brilliant.
And
yeah, if you send me a message and I'll chat, because I like chatting in my DMs. Stops me doing my work.
Brilliant. Fantastic. Thank you.
Vicky, have you got any questions before?
I'm just wondering, on Facebook, I don't use Instagram, although I might go and have a look at it now that we've had a chat. If we get people to check in, you know, like when they come to the centre, does that help to get our profile more recognised, or is it just
Yeah, it will
people
get
do?
it. So the good thing about somebody checking in is because that's from a personal account, when their friends and family log in, they will see that, because that's prioritized. So it will get you in front of more people and that will remind them that you're there. So yeah, it is a good thing, because you would think that if they're checking in, then there must be some of their friends and family that would also be your audience that also might think, oh, didn't know that was there, or, you know, helps them to get you noticed. Yeah.
Awesome. Lovely. Thank you.
One of the things that excuse me, we've been doing a lot more of is talking to people on social media. So when someone gives us a follow, I actually go and check them out, message them, say thanks for the follow, how are you, and sort of start a conversation. So especially with the dance side, I don't say immediately, oh, would you like if you're a dance teacher, would you like our tips? Would you like our free tips? Because you're like, well, actually, I've only just started following you, love, you know, calm down. So I just, you know, say, oh, it's great to see what you're doing. How's it all going? And then people then respond, and then you can start a conversation. And then once you've built that warmth, you can say, oh, do you know, we give away tons of free tips for dance teachers. It's all free. Here's the link. And, you know, and then people are getting that value, that valuable information from us every month. And even if they never end up working with us, but we often do end up working together because we've understood more about what they do. We then get offered a party in Birmingham and we go, oh, do you know what, I met Vicky the other day, I think she'd be perfect for her, let's get in touch with her. And then Vicky already knows who we are and isn't like, well, why are you offering me a dance party, I've never spoken to you before. You've got that relationship, and that's what, you know, that's been really valuable in helping us to build how Instagram is working for us. And, you know, and also showing the benefits, as Rebecca said, the benefits of dance, you know, especially in the, you know, where we are at the moment with so many people suffering with anxiety and stress and coming out of lockdown. You know, dance is such a brilliant way for that whole de-stress and that whole getting the endorphins going. So there's so much we can say. So I think one of the biggest things that's come out of this meeting today for us, or for me, is engaging you guys as well to try and make things more comfortable for you, Emma. And as Rebecca says, there's loads of other people. I don't like going on camera. You know, I'm like, oh my God, draw some lipstick on, hide behind your glasses. And we started to do this over the last few emails for you guys, was giving you images you can use on social media to try and save you guys time. So, you know, that might be something to think about. We might do a sort of a creation morning or something where we can all come up with ideas for each other and film stuff there and then to use and share. So that might be a good one. Yeah, and the whole, you know, inspiring, educating, entertaining. And the other thing was, I thought, I don't want to do this lip syncing. That's just not me. One, I'm rubbish at it, and two, I feel like an absolute idiot. But you don't have to do that. Reels don't have to be you copying what everybody else does. There are things you can jump on trends and use that trending music. And there was a brilliant one, I don't know if you saw it, I'll send you the link. It's quite embarrassing, but it was fun. It was perfect for us in dance because it was basically how I feel when somebody comes to my dance class, and then it goes into this whole dance thing and it turns into psychedelic. So even if you're a rubbish dancer, you can't see you doing it. It's like an image.
Oh yeah, I used that one the other day.
Yeah, and it's trending, and
yeah.
I might be able to find it here. But
I've forgotten what the music is, but the filter you use is rotoscope. It's
that's
called.
it.
And that's what makes you like a cartoon character.
I think I did it on Dance Teachers World. I remixed it with somebody I learnt it from. Hold on, if you can see it. Hang on.
Yeah, that's it.
Start again. So that's easy for us to sort of duet with. Like Emma, if I did one, or Helen or Vicky, whoever, Rebecca, you could do one too. That was quite easy. So I think if we can come up with ideas for each other, we want to see a lot more of actual dancing, because I don't have any. I've got old footage which I will dig out, but getting some more of the actual dancing imagery onto that as well. But no, it's been brilliant. So has anyone got any other questions before we let you all go back to your work and dance? How was
just
it? Go on,
just
Helen.
a comment.
Yeah.
I just think that after Red Nose, my guys were really keen to do more filming, actually. So I'm really sort of inspired this morning to think about ways that I can get them to just maybe film little snippets of moves and stuff with me that maybe we can use. That
would be really good. That'd be really good, because you could sort of start one. It could just be like even a repetitive move, and you could start it, and then another person joins you, another person joins, a bit like a flash mob, or there's loads of stuff you can do. It'd be brilliant. Yeah, and definitely share, and we'll share it. And it's just there's so much we can do. We just need to get some sort of order. And also, if you do want to do any choreography, we are open for some choreography, so let us know if you want to do any. Emma, I might need I know you're really busy, but I might need to get someone on the team to head up or help with the choreography organisation, but I'll talk to you a lot about that as well in the Facebook group. And
I'll be open to helping with that. Yeah, definitely.
Brilliant, because you won't leave the choreography to me. That would be terrible. Vicky, just before we let you go, just wanted to ask you, and obviously you can message me privately, so you don't have to answer the question now. I just would be interested to see how you found it, whether you thought it was interesting, valuable, boring.
Not going to say boring.
Yeah, hated it. So, we do value all feedback, so let us know. I'll ping you an email. But yeah, if you've got any questions or anything, let us know.
Yeah. I find it's nice to actually talk to other dance teachers. And the Instagram bit, I say it's not something that I do a lot, but it might be something I'll go in to look at. So it was nice and informative that way. I thought I enjoyed it.
Brilliant, cool.
I'll have more of a thinking, maybe, because I want to email you about that the teacher positions. So I'll maybe put some other suggestions down, what I think.
Absolutely, that'd be great. Right. Yeah, and we can definitely get that job ad out there for you, and hopefully find you someone good and reliable. Yeah, so
that would be mega.
We've got a lot of good teachers.
Awesome. Thank you.
No worries. Well, thank you guys, and thanks for joining us. I'll send you all the dates for the next ones, and if there's any topics that you would like us to cover, then just give us a shout and we can do our best to find a brilliant expert. I'm pointing to the right way on your screen, but Rebecca, thank you so much for your time. Really appreciate it. We will circulate this as a recording, and we'll put all the information on. But yeah, give this girl a follow. She always looks amazing as well, and her house looks immaculately clean. And
no, that's all. It's all.
She shoots well.
Filters and hidden mess, I tell you.
And she has nice t-shirts as well. I like her t-shirt. So yeah, check her out, and yeah, have a brilliant month. And yeah, we'll give you a shout about getting some content and stuff over, and and helping you build your confidence in filming and stuff like that as well. So cool. Well, thanks guys. Have a brilliant month. And I'm going to stop recording. Pause.